Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Leap Forward with Riester and Schnell. My name's John Klemp and I'll be your host today. And joining me today, I have got Nate Solvit, our commercial sprayer application specialist, commonly known as the sprayer guy. So today we are going to be talking about all things application equipment, sprayers, what we've got going on. There's a lot of technology, but before we get to all that, Nate, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long you been with Riester and Schnell, and I guess what does your day-to-day look like here with Riester and Schnell?
Yeah, so I've been with Riester and Schnell for 4 years now. Part of that time was in the IS group with receivers, displays, rate controllers, all of that fun stuff. After that, I proceeded into our commercial application role. I really enjoyed that because before working at Riester and Schnell, I actually worked at my brother's custom application business.
Okay.
So kind of bringing them both together, Green Star with sprayers before, I feel like gives me a good experience and good way to connect with our customers.
Well, yeah, that hands-on, actually being out in the field with those sprayers and seeing it from a customer perspective first, and then bringing that over into the Riester and Schnell, helping those customers purchase equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. You asked me about what my day-to-day looks like. It's a lot of quoting different times of the year, and then once that quote happens and the customer is happy with the quote, from there it's making sure that machine gets put into the system. When it comes in, helping the technicians get all the right attachments put on their nozzles and specific parts for spreaders. From there, it's going to be going out to the field with the customer and a technician and going through that machine so they're comfortable starting out.
Yeah, so you're working with the sales staff basically hand in hand where a customer's interested in a piece of application equipment, you're working with that salesman to help make sure that everything is set up to that customer's expectation because, well, I'm sure you can speak to it, but sprayers, there's a lot of different options out there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and now we have our John Deere lineup. From a 600-gallon sprayer to a 1,600-gallon sprayer, so quite a difference in size and pretty much application of what that machine's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Then we add in our Hagie lineup as well with 1,200-gallon sprayers up to 2,000 gallons. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's quite a diverse portfolio of equipment we have.
Yeah, but something for everyone.
Yeah.
Something for everyone.
Yep.
So I guess what's going on right now? It's a big time of year for Riester and Schnell and the application equipment. I mean, we're going into early order program right now. Tell me a little bit about that and what our customers should know about the EOP early order program that's going on right now.
Yeah, so actually we are nearing the end of our early order program, so there is still a cash discount or financing available.
Okay.
Depending on what best suits the customer's situation. That being said, even after our early order program ends, there is still opportunity to purchase sprayers or dry spreaders if needed. Just at that point, we're going to be looking at different delivery dates, so maybe further into spring. So if you're in the market for a sprayer and you haven't purchased one yet, now is still the time. It's not too late.
Wow. So long story short, it's a great day to buy a John Deere or a Hagie sprayer, huh?
You got that right.
All right. Anything new coming out? We're talking new sprayers, 2025. I mean, anything that you can let our customers in on new stuff that's coming down the pipeline from John Deere or Hagie.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of our customers have seen the Gen 5 displays on tractors and some of our other equipment. Now it is coming to our sprayer lineup. So we're going to have the Gen 5 displays plus the extended monitors in the cabs. So a lot of visibility of what's going on. And you get that new feel, that new touch, the better processing, more RAM. So that's a big one for us. The other thing that we're seeing is John Deere is introducing a multi-rate boom. So now if you have like a prescription map that you're covering in a field, you'll be able to see different rates happening across your boom versus just that one 120-foot prescription happening. So,
really,
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome feature. I think a lot of people have thought that it could do it before, and now it's here today. So
Yeah, not so much of the set it and leave it type of spraying from way back when. Are you seeing a lot more of that prescription application where you're seeing guys with their soil sampling and everything else, and we're putting down the right product at the right time in the right place, or are you seeing more of a trend towards that?
So I would say in the dry spreaders, that's been more common than the sprayers themselves. With the sprayers, a lot of the chemicals require a set rate across the field, just on the chemical aspect of it. Where we get into it on the sprayer side is going to be for our nutrients, whether that's Y dropping or applying pre-emerged nitrogen UAN. So that's where the benefit's really going to come into play.
Okay. Well, as long as we're talking about product placement, we've got that See and Spray technology out there.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that. I mean, that just sounds absolutely crazy to me that we're able to go how fast across the field?
Up to 15 miles an hour with the Ultimate.
Up to 15 miles an hour, covering 120 feet.
Yep.
And we're only spraying the weeds.
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
It's one of those things that now that it's out, a lot of people think, wow, why hasn't that been out longer? It seems like it's just logical that you're only spraying where it needs to be. For the guys saying, well, what about residual? We have a solution for that too, with our See and Spray Ultimate. We can do the spot spraying of the weeds, plus we can put our residual down. So essentially we're running two products at once, two tank mixers at once. If that customer is comfortable with doing only their contact or systemic herbicide, we can do that as well in a single tank system. So a lot of opportunity. We've seen some really good savings from it. John Deere has mentioned, 60% savings in the past. That is something that we did see when the customer had the right conditions this year.
Okay.
So,
what customer segment do you think has the biggest gain with that See and Spray technology? Like, where can the biggest cost savings actually be seen with the new technology that's coming out from John Deere?
Yeah, so there's obviously going to be our larger growers is going to be the first place. It just makes sense. Usually they have a lot of acres. There's more opportunity for ROI. Where we're also starting to see it, even that customer with 1,000 acres, with the right chemical program and the right weed, weed coverage, there's a lot of opportunity for that customer as well. Because some of these products are getting up above 30 gallons an acre. So if we can save 60 to 70% of that on 1,000 acres, there's a lot of savings to be had.
Now, with that technology, there's probably a cost associated with, taking advantage of that technology. And I believe John Deere did something new with the pricing here this year for that See and Spray technology. Could you walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, so obviously there's our hardware cost, to either buy the machine with the technology, or if you have a 2018 and newer sprayer with 120-foot booms, we can retrofit that system onto it for $25,000 to $30,000, depending on options and features.
Okay.
From there, once we're spraying in the field with See and Spray, there is a $5 per acre fee when you do not spray. So let's say you covered 100 acres and 70% of that was covered but not applied, so no chemical was sprayed there.
Okay.
Those 70 acres is going to be where you pay that $5 subscription.
Okay.
The 30 acres where you did apply chemical, you will not pay that.
So you're only spraying, you're only paying when you're not spraying.
Correct.
And if you're not spraying, you don't have those chemical costs or anything else. So that's the only spot where you are paying.
Correct. So, and I believe that's a very fair rationality with before you may be actually paying even where you did spray.
Okay.
So in that aspect, you're paying for the chemical and you're paying for the subscription.
Okay.
So now when you save that $30 an acre or whatever that cost might be, you're paying only $5 an acre.
Okay.
So there's a pricing good offset there where it makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah. Nice little logical pricing system there.
Absolutely.
Now, we were talking about if I got an older sprayer, I can take advantage of this technology.
For sure. So back to the 30 series, we can put individual nozzle control on there. So that's going to be pulsing for maintaining rate and pressure at the same time. It's also going to be turn compensation. So 30 series go back to, I believe, like 2008. So quite a ways back we can do that. If you have a 2014, we can add ExactApply. Back to 2018, we can add pressure recirculation. So a lot of awesome features that we can go back to older machines now.
And those are all through, what do we call those, product upgrade kits, correct?
Yeah, so those are going to be our precision upgrades.
Precision upgrade kits. So being able to take, well, you said 2008, so quick math, that's quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
And make that 2008 sprayer have some of the same technology that's going to be rolling off the line here for 2025.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice thing where even the customers with the older machines feel included.
We've talked a lot about John Deere sprayers.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go to those big high clearance sprayers, right? Those Hagies. Talk to me a little bit more about the Hagie partnership, what we've got to offer customers when it comes to those high clearance machines.
Yeah, so Hagie is the first self-propelled sprayer on the market back in 1947. So long history with the company. Before John Deere's partnership in 2018, Hagie's been making sprayers that have been front boom sprayers with high clearance, as you mentioned.
Okay.
So a lot of purpose with that for guys wanting to put nitrogen on with wide drops and a lot of fungicide action.
Okay.
So fungicide mainly in our corn, with our higher clearance necessary. With the integration with John Deere, we've seen a lot of uptick in customers that have John Deere tractors, John Deere planters, John Deere combines, because now all of that workflow can be better connected. So one thing we joke about in the IS team or product specialist team is that we have a solution that's from seed to feed. That being said, when we put our seed in the ground, we're making our auto path lines, we're putting our application with 2x2 and in-furrow. So that's all being documented. When it gets to the sprayer can follow those guidance lines from the auto path. And then from there, either the combine or the forage harvester has the information connected on fungicide that we put on with the Hagie sprayer, and maybe a herbicide with the John Deere. So again, it's just connecting all of those pieces together. But Hagie's, sorry to get a little bit off track there, I guess.
Well, no, I think it's perfectly on track where, we're looking at one segment of the lineup, right? As we go through the year, you've got your preparation, your planting, your application equipment.
Yeah.
And all the way to harvest, where we're looking at this and how application equipment really fits into that profile, where at the same time, you think about application equipment, this is the majority of the summer, right?
Absolutely.
It's not a set it and leave it where you just have to hit it once, right? We can joke about 2x2 farmers, right? 2 weeks in the spring and 2 weeks in the fall. Well, there's a lot of time in between that. It's the application equipment that's getting the job done.
Absolutely, and we have a very, very diverse group of customers, from our dairy farmers to our grain farmers to our specialty crop farmers with potatoes. I know the potato growers are actually spraying up to once a week at times. So that machine, when it goes down, it is severe for that account.
Yeah.
So probably one of the most important pieces of a machinery on their farm.
Is that sprayer. I guess, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for customers when it comes to their application equipment here as we go into 2025, 2026, and we look towards the future? What are some of the things that you think are the most exciting that are going to be coming down that really give you something to call on those customers and say, hey, we should really look at this?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just the machine that brings value, it's the solution that machine provides. So we talked about fungicide with the Hagie. Big thing with that being the dairy growers and putting fungicide in their corn, protect the crop and make sure that crop turns into a healthy feed for their animals. And then also kind of going into, the markets are up and down on a lot of our commodities, from grain to potatoes and all of it. So what better way to actually save on the inputs when some of your commodity prices are at maybe, unstable conditions? Because we know that the inputs a lot of times are usually harder to bring back down, and their prices are always still up there. So, with newer equipment, you can do a better job of saving that input, saving your money, and getting good value out of that machine.
If the revenue coming in isn't as great, we can cut costs and we can help that bottom line for a lot of our consumers.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Nate, thank you for joining us here on another episode of Leap Forward with Riester and Schnell. We'll see you next month.
We're your John Deere dealer coming through for you, Riester and Schnell.